Hello, Shalom. Welcome to part 171 of the Daily Bread. We'll be reading Deuteronomy chapter 30, Isaiah 31, Psalms 19, Proverbs 20, and 2 Corinthians chapter 7. We'll be in the Scriptures, 2009 version, translation, and Deuteronomy chapter 30 on page 218. And it shall be, when all these words come upon you, the blessing and the curse which I have set before you, and you shall bring them back to your heart among all the nations, where Yahweh your Elohim drives you, and shall turn back to Yahweh your Elohim, and obey his voice according to all that I command you today, with all your heart and with all your being, you and your children, then Yahweh your Elohim shall turn back your captivity, and shall have compassion on you, and he shall turn back and gather you from all the peoples where Yahweh your Elohim has scattered you. If any of you are driven out to the farthest parts under the heavens, from where Yahweh your Elohim does gather you, and from there he does take you, and Yahweh your Elohim shall bring you to the land which your fathers possessed, and you shall possess it. And he shall do good to you, and increase you more than your fathers. And Yahweh your Elohim shall circumcise your heart, and the heart of your seed, to love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your being, so that you might live. And Yahweh your Elohim shall put all these curses on your enemies, and all these who hate you, who persecuted you. And you shall turn back and obey the voice of Yahweh, and do all his commands, while I command you today. And Yahweh your Elohim shall make you have excess in all the work of your hand, in the fruit of your body, and in the fruit of your livestock, and in the fruit of your ground for good. For Yahweh turns back to rejoice over you for good, as he rejoiced over your fathers. Fast forward here or whatever to down a rabbit hole. Zephaniah. Zephaniah 3, verse 17, page 632. Yahweh your Elohim in your midst is mighty to save. He rejoices over you with joy. He rejoices over you. He is silent in his love. He rejoices over you with singing. With joy and singing, he rejoices over you. Back to Deuteronomy 30. Verse 9. And Yahweh your Elohim shall make you have excess in all the work of your hand, in the fruit of your body, and in the fruit of your livestock, and in the fruit of the ground for good. For Yahweh turns back to rejoice over you for good, as he rejoiced over your fathers. If you obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to guard his commands and his laws, which are written in this book of the Torah. If you turn back to Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart and with all your being, for this command which I am commanding you today, it is not too hard for you, nor is it too far off. It is not in the heavens to say, who shall ascend unto the heaven for us, and bring it to us, and cause us to hear it, so that we do it? Nor is it beyond the sea to say, who shall go over the sea for us, and bring it to us, and cause us to hear it? so that we do it. For the word, capital W, is very near you, in your mouth and in your heart to do it. See, I have set before you today life, good, and death, and evil. And I am commanding you today to love Yahweh your Elohim, to walk in His ways, and to guard His commands, and His laws, and His right rulings. And you shall live and increase, and Yahweh your Elohim shall bless you in the land which you go to possess. But if your heart turns away, and you do not obey, and shall be drawn away, and shall bow down to other mighty ones and serve them, I have declared to you today that you shall certainly perish. You shall not prolong your days in the land which you are possessing over the Jordan to enter and possess. I have called the heavens and the earth as witness today against you. I have set before you life and death, the blessing and the curse. Therefore you shall choose life, so that you live, both you and your seed, to love Yahweh your Elohim, to obey His voice, and to cling to Him. For He is your life and the length of your days, to dwell in the land which Yahweh swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give them. Jump back on there, Nick. Isaiah 31 on page 437. Woe to those who go down to Mizraim for help, Egypt, and rely on horses, who trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong, but who do not look to set apart one of Israel, nor seek Yahweh. And He also is wise, and has brought evil, and has not turned aside His words, and He shall rise up against the house of evildoers, and against the help of workers of wickedness. I'm going to pause there for a minute. Back to verse 1. Woe to those who go down to Mizraim for help, rely on horses, who trust in chariots. Flip to Psalms 20. Psalms 20, verse 7. It's only a 9-verse thing, so 9 verses. But verse 7. Psalms 20, verse 7. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we remember the name of Yahweh our Elohim. They have bowed down and fallen, but we have risen and are established. So, parallels there. Alright, back to Isaiah 31, verse 3. And Mizraims are men, and not El, and their horses are flesh, and not spirit. And when Yahweh stretches out His hand, both he who helps shall stumble, and he who is helped shall fall, and they shall all fall together. For this is what Yahweh has said to me: as a lion roars and a young lion over his prey, through a band of shepherds, though a band of shepherds is called out against him, he is not afraid of their voice, nor disturbed by their noise. So Yahweh of hosts shall come down to fight upon Mount Zion and upon its hill. Like hovering birds, so does Yahweh of hosts protect Jerusalem, protecting and delivering, passing over and rescuing. Turn back to Him from whom the children of Israel have deeply fallen away. For in that day let each man reject his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which your own hands have made for yourselves as a sin. And Asher shall fall by a sword not of man, and a sword not of mankind shall devour him. But he shall flee from the sword, and his young men shall become slave labor. And his strength pass away because of fear, and his commanders shall be afraid of the banner, declares Yahweh, whose light is in Zion, and whose furnace is in Jerusalem. Psalms 19, on page 656. The heavens are proclaiming the esteem of El, and the expanse is declaring the work of his hand. Day to day pours forth speech, and night to night reveals knowledge. There is no speech, and there is no words. Their voice is not heard. Their line has gone out through all the earth, and their words to the ends of the world. In them he set up a tent for the sun, and it is like a bridegroom coming out of his room. It rejoices like a strong man to run the path. It is rising from one end of the heavens, and its circuit to the other end, and naught has concealed from its heat, and naught. The Torah of Yahweh is perfect, bringing back my Abim. The witness of Yahweh is trustworthy, making the simple wise. Making the wise simple. The orders of Yahweh are straight, rejoicing the heart. The command of Yahweh is clear, enlightening the eyes. The fear of Yahweh is clean, standing forever. The right rulings of Yahweh are true. They are righteous altogether, more desirable than gold, than fine gold, and sweeter than honey and the honeycomb. Also your servant is warned by them. In guarding them there is great reward. Who discerns mistakes, declares me innocent from concealed mistakes, and also take your servant back from presumptuous ones. Do not let them rule over me. Then shall I be perfect and innocent of great transgression. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing before you, O Yahweh, my rock and my redeemer. Proverbs 20 on page 747. Wine is a scoffer, strong drink a brawler. Whoever is led astray by it is not wise. The dread of a sovereign is like the roaring of a lion. Whoever provokes him sins against his own life. For a man to cease from strife is esteemed, but every fool bursts out. The lazy one does not plow after the autumn, and at harvest time he inquires, there is none. Counsel in the heart of man is like deep water, but a man of understanding draws it up. Most men proclaim each his own loving commitment, but who finds a trustworthy man? The righteous man walks in his integrity. His children are blessed after him. A sovereign who sits on the throne of judgment is scattering all evil with his eyes. Who says, I have cleansed my heart, I am purged of my sin, differing weights and differing measures. Both of them are abomination to Yahweh. Even a child is known by his deeds, whether his work is clear and right. The hearing ear and the seeing eye, Yahweh has made them both. Do not love sleep, lest you become poor. Open your eyes, be satisfied with bread. Evil, evil, cries the buyer. But when he has gone his way, then he boasts. There is gold and a multitude of rubies, but the lips of knowledge are a precious vessel. Take the garment of one who is a guarantor for a stranger, and hold it as a pledge for when it is for foreigners. Bread gained by deceit might be sweet to a man, but afterward his mouth is filled with gravel. By counsel plans are established, and by wise guidance wage a battle. He who gives about as a slanderer reveals secrets. Therefore do not associate with him. Who speaks smoothly with his lips? Whoever curses his father or his mother. His lamp is put out in deep darkness. An inheritance obtained with greed at the beginning is not blessed at the end. Do not say, I repay evil. Wait for Yahweh, and he saves you. Differing weights are an abomination to Yahweh, and a false scale is not good. The steps of a man are from Yahweh. What does a man know about his own way? It is a snare for a man to say rashly, it is set apart, and only latter to reconsider his vows. A wise sovereign widows out the wrong, and turn the wheel over them. The spirit of a man is the lamp of Yahweh, searching all his inmost parts. Loving commitment and truth watch over the sovereign, and he shall support his throne by loving commitment. The comeliness of young men is their strength, and the splendor of old men is their gray hair. The blows that wound cleanse away evil, and strokes the inner parts of the heart. Second Corinthians chapter 7 on page 1125. Having then these promises, beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all defilement of the flesh and spirit, perfecting set apartness in the fear of Elohim. Make room for us. We wronged no one. We corrupted no one. We exploited no one. I do not say this to condemn, for I previously said that you are in our hearts, to die together and to live together. Great is my boldness of speech toward you. Great is my boasting on your behalf. I have been filled with encouragement. I overflow with joy in all your pressure. 5. For indeed, when we came into Macedonia, our flesh had no rest, but we were hard pressed on every side, conflicts without, fears within. But Elohim, who encourages the downcast, encouraged us by the coming of Titus. And not only by his coming, but also by the encouragement with which he was encouraged over you. When he reported to us your longing, your mourning, your ardor for me, so that I greatly rejoiced. For even if I made you sad with my letter, I did not regret it, though I did regret it. For I perceived the same letter made you sad, even if for an hour. Nine. I now rejoice, not that you were made sad, but that you were saddened into repenting. For you were made sad according to Elohim, so that you suffer no loss from us. For sadness according to Elohim works repentance to deliverance, not to be regretted. But the sadness of the world works death. For see how you have been saddened according to Elohim, how much it worked out in your eagerness, indeed clearing yourselves, indeed displeasure, indeed fear, indeed longing, indeed ardor, indeed righting of wrong. In every way you've proven yourselves to be clear in the matter. So although I write to you, it is not for the sake of him who had done the wrong, nor the sake of him who suffered wrong, but for the sake of revealing our diligence for you before Elohim. For this reason we have been encouraged in your encouragement, and we rejoice exceedingly more in the joy of Titus, because his spirit has been refreshed by all of you, because I have boasted somewhat about you to him. I am not ashamed, but as we spoke to you in all truth, even our boasting of Titus was found true, and his tender feelings are greater for you, as he remembers the obedience of all of you, all of you, as you received him with fear and trembling. I rejoice that in every way I am of good courage by reason of you. Shalom. Make it a great day. Read your Bible. Talk to the Father.